Hello, back with another video today, and like I said yesterday, today I wanted to make a video to end the debate of whom is actually better, Royal King or Spirit Empress. When I was on Twitter, I've seen people asking about this, like discussing who's actually better, and I think that like majority is saying King is better, especially in lower stars, trophies, whatever you want to call them. But once you get higher up, I think you see more and more Empresses because people kind of figure out how to actually play her, and it's not actually that difficult, but it's a little bit different. I feel like most people that play this game mode have tried or heard about Clash Mini, and people who actually played Clash Mini will find playing Royal King much easier than playing Empress, just simply because of the way that you actually go about it. But if you like once you play a little bit more and you get used to re-rolling in this game mode, you will get to the point where you will realize how to play Empress as well. And I'm not saying Empress directly is better, but if you can pull it off, you probably have like higher chances for like an insane amount of 3 stars, higher chance of that than with Royal King, for example. But that doesn't mean she's better actually, and I want to go for each one of them and tell you what I think pros and cons are of playing them, and also where you should be careful about how you actually go about your game. And I want to go over King first because I feel like more people play King rather than Empress, or at least people that play Empress are probably higher up and already know how to play her, but it's gonna help everyone in lower trophies as well. And so basically with the King, his ability is to give 4 extra elixir for losing a round, and that is very useful actually. What you want to do with King actually is try to go for at least 2 goblins as soon as you can. If you can get it in first rounds, that's the best outcome possible. Sometimes it's gonna go like on the RNG and you won't be able to get it, but with King there's not really an issue if you lose first 2 rounds, right? Because you're just gonna be up elixir, so it's actually probably better to lose on the first 2 rounds and pick up that extra elixir than losing in the later rounds, because you're probably gonna take more damage per round. How you want to play with King is in a way that when you're placing down units, you want to have like a minimal amount of units that will get you minimal amount of damage in early game. Of course later on you want to build your lineup as much as you can, but preferably, if possible, you want to take first 2 rounds each with 2 damage. So if possible, on first round you lose in a way that opponent is left with 1 troop, so you killed one of their troops and they do 2 damage to you, and you trade that for 4 elixir, which is going to help you with cycling a lot. And then on the second round, same, if possible. Of course, trying to get goblins is key because unlike with Empress, where you're gonna cycle at the end of the game, with King you're gonna cycle at the start of the game. So if you get goblins early on, you'll have that extra elixir, so you can actually cycle the bench and upgrade your units. Because I feel like when you're playing King, the most of the game is gonna happen in first 4 rounds rather than last 2, like it is with Empress, as you're gonna see when I'm gonna tell you about her. And the reason why that happens is just because of like elixir that you get from actually losing those rounds. And I see a lot of people with King playing in a way that they stick to like higher health at the start and like go with 10 HP into like 4th round. And I'd say that's like worse for you. If you're playing King, you should intentionally try to actually lose the first 2 rounds with minimal damage. Because what's gonna happen then? If you're gonna play in a game where you have like 2 kings and 2 empresses, or you're the only king in the game, if you're not gonna take advantage from the first 2 rounds, the empresses will start to cycle up their units, and you'll be way behind on your lineup. and once that happens, you're gonna take like six damage in a single round, and you're practically cooked at that point. Because you have to realize, if you in the entire game lose only 2 rounds and you're out on the second hit, you only got 4 extra elixir in that game. If you can lose each round that you actually lose by 1 unit, meaning you get only 2 damage, or even that the units take each other out, in which case you take only 1 damage, then you can go up to like what, 4 times 4, 16 plus elixir, and that is gonna be key in you actually winning the game, especially against Empress. Because when you're gonna go against Empress, against someone who actually knows how to play her in late game, you're gonna be behind like 10 elixir. So it's like really key to play like that. And so yeah, basically, as I mentioned, losing the first 2 rounds intentionally with minimal damage is probably a must-do strategy with King. Otherwise, you're just gonna be behind. And as I said, then you're trying to cycle and get most of the game down in first 3 rounds. Like after first 3 rounds, you need to have at least 1 3-star unit. Of course, you're gonna be able to get more after as well, um, but when you look at Empresses in the same game, you have to have a noticeable advantage against them in first 3 rounds. Otherwise, you're cooked. And yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it for King. It's not really that complicated, and it suits more the playstyle of Clash mini players. For example, when we had rerolls all the time, so we started cycling or rerolling our shops right at the start, and what you're gonna do with that is waste a ton of elixir if you play Empress. But if you play King, that's not really an issue, because you're gonna get a lot of elixir back if you lose that round. So that's pretty much it for King. And now, before I go into Empress, I just want to say that I appreciate everyone that has been watching, because I've been getting a decent amount of views, and it's nice to see the channel is growing, even though I have like not that many subscribers since I basically just started. So I would appreciate if anyone watching enjoys and finds this helpful, subscribes as well. And then now let's jump into Empress as well. So the reason why Empress is played differently is because what you must not do is cycle at the start. In the first 3 rounds, if possible, do not cycle at all. Of course, same as for King, you try to get the goblins early on, but that's like very often not gonna be possible, because you're not gonna be able to afford like that much rerolling as you are with King. And the reason why that is because you're not gonna get the same elixir in return, and if you're gonna cycle in the first few rounds, you're gonna have to cycle a 1-star unit each time, and when you do that, you're down elixir. So like when you roll a 2-star unit, you're getting 1 elixir back. So for the first 3 rounds, you try not to cycle, but you still try to get 2 goblins. If the RNG is on your side, you're gonna be able to do it. If not, it's not that big of a deal. The game is still very much winnable. It's just like that extra boost in elixir from each goblin that you get. Once you have that, I would say always look for the synergies at the start. You have those first 3 rounds that are gonna be key for you to actually win, and synergies are gonna do more, because you're not gonna be able to cycle that much and get 2 or 3-star units. It's possible, but it's not always gonna happen. And I must say that when you play Empress, is potentially higher payout. It's gonna be easier to win if you get to late rounds, but it's also like sometimes with her you're gonna lose on RNG basis, which is not gonna happen with King. With King, you're gonna lose when you're behind on elixir against someone, because they took less damage each round. So when they lost, if you play against King or against Empress, because they're just gonna build up. and you're gonna see why in this game that he's playing right now. Sometimes in the first 3 rounds, the rotation is just gonna suck, and you won't be able to build up anything serious. So yeah, basically with Empress, what can happen is like a potentially way higher payout, but it can also happen sometimes that you're gonna lose on the first 3 rounds. Once you get past the first 3 rounds, it's practically guaranteed for you to like win. Uh, like at least I feel that I practically have no chance against someone losing against someone, even if they play Empress as well, just simply because I'm kind of able to build synergies better and upgrade my units and cycle them. But yeah, it has happened to me a few times that I just lost in the first three rounds, and I feel like sometimes that's unavoidable. But it's not like it happens 50-50. It's like maybe 10% of the time. I would say like every 10th, maybe not even every 10th, maybe even less than every 10th game. But it does happen, so you have to keep that in mind. But then once you get third um, to third round with her, that's when you're probably gonna have goblins already, and goblins are gonna be dropping down. So you're gonna be able to cycle a lot of elixir. With goblins, if possible, get them to 3 stars and then sell them. And with Empress, what I'm doing often as well is if I get like a 3-star unit, I will sell it, and like even if it's already 3-star, I sold like my SK at 3 stars and just started cycling to get, and in return I get like 4 units to 3 stars. So because at that point you have so much elixir that you basically cannot lose it, um, and it's just gonna be so easy to build up. Like every merge you're gonna do, you're gonna get 1 elixir back. So even if you keep those units at the board, at the end of the day, you're gonna get all the elixir back, and you have like 30 elixir to cycle. So you're gonna sell that 1 3-star unit, you're gonna get the 4 in return. So that's sometimes worth to do with Empress, simply because of how much elixir you actually get for merging units. And you start doing that around round 3. And by the end you're almost guaranteed gonna have 5 or 6 units at 3-star. It hasn't happened actually to me to actually get a full 3-star lineup, but it has happened a lot of times for me to have 5 out of 6 troops on 3-star. Then pair that with synergies, and they're absolutely cooked. You're gonna see in this game that I play right now how many 3-star units I was able to get. So now to actually go over which one is better, I would say that overall Empress is better, but you have to keep in mind those, like, I don't know, 5 to 10% of times that you're just gonna lose. Um, of course, it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like especially if you're playing against kings, that chance might increase a little bit. Against Empress might decrease a little bit, but the fact is that it does happen. But I would still say she's better, simply because the other games that are not in those 5%, you're gonna be able to win easily, especially when playing against kings, because it's actually insane how much elixir up you can be at the end of the game. Like I will have games where I have 20 elixir unspent because I simply wasn't able to roll the shop that many times, and I could easily have all of my units 3-star, but I just lose on time. So and with king, it's like a sure way, but you have to realize that, especially playing against Empress, you're gonna finish second a lot of times. But if you play right, with king you basically have a guarantee second time every game. Like you just have to play a little bit decent. So it's kind of like first place against few percent of the times you're gonna be third or fourth, and then with king you basically guarantee gain, but you might be second, so you don't gain as much. um, and yeah, that's basically all that there is to it. And I personally enjoy Empress more. It's also more fun when you get into the late rounds, like right here in this game. um, but like it's up to you at the end of the day. Now you at least know how to actually play Empress, because it took me like 2 days to actually figure this out. But That's about it, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video if I can make one.